Well, week 9 is in the books, and the boys are back in the green in a big way for a 5-2 clip of plus 5.6 units in week 9 as we welcome you inside the Janitor's Closet for week 10's Best Bets episode. My name is Bryce Hunt, joined as always my resident football expert here, Josh Frey-Sam. Josh, a very nice week. Last week, as I mentioned there, 26, 14, and 1 now since week 4. Seeing the slate really well here. What are you thinking for week 10 here?
Yeah, week 10 is last week was a good week. Week 10 is one of a slate that you look across the board, man, there's a couple things to like, but I'm going to be honest, like this is a board that was um low volume for us once again. Well, last week actually ended up being decent volume for us, released a couple of X plays, but yeah, as far as the best bet show goes, again, only 3 plays today, keeping it 3, and hopefully once again, like last week, get in, get out, get our money, and move on to week 11. So hopefully we are once again looking at a successful week 10.
All right. So, as he mentioned there, we have 3 plays for our best bet show here, including our anytime touchdown parlay, which we will do after those 3 best bets. Of course, some more plays mulling over on X. Josh was looking over the injury report as of about 5 minutes ago. I think he was taking a peep at that thing. So, keep it locked on X or Twitter at TJC Bets. Go follow us there for some plays coming out probably around an hour before these games kick off on Sunday.
Yep.
uh Hit us there. That's the best place to get these direct plays right into your account. We were able to hit a couple last week, hoping to hit a couple this week. And for you folks on YouTube here, 3 for 3 last week, I believe, on these plays on the best bet show. Looking to do it again. If you appreciate that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you folks. Leave a comment down below, let us know how you're doing today. We appreciate you guys. All right, Josh, without further ado, let's get into this slate here. Let's start in the NFC South here. Let's talk about Atlanta Falcons going to the Dome, seeing New Orleans.
Yeah, playing this one, Bryce, going to be over 46 and a half for 2 units here. Like this play for a couple of different reasons. Let's start on the Atlanta Falcons side of things. The offense, humming. Pretty much simple as that. We took the Atlanta Falcons against the Dallas Cowboys last week. They absolutely cooked for us, and there was pretty much because they were taking on a bad defensive unit, and Kirk Cousins and company were cooking, and they did just that once again. On the defensive side of the ball for the Atlanta Falcons, they're continuing to be a unit that is I would say average at best right now. They have a couple of good players there, but still no pass rush. But this is a defense that's definitely trying to figure some stuff out right now as we start to get in the thick of the playoff chase here. Atlanta's looking great though as far as their division goes. Offense is humming right now. Hopefully the defense can catch up eventually. But going into New Orleans on the road for the second straight week, it's going to be tough in this case, and that takes us to New Orleans side of things where the offense. Actually, both sides of the ball. I can just kind of gloss over this as a whole. Dennis Allen obviously was fired after last week's game. Darren Rizzi, the special teams guy, is now the interim head coach. And looking at reports this week, Bryce, was kind of interesting. So this is a classic spot for bettors to look. We actually did it. We did it. A few weeks back after the Jets fired Robert Saleh. We took the Jets in prime time against the Buffalo Bills. Don't think that worked out for us, but this is another one of those spots where typically team that fires their head coach, they get that 1 week bump, and a lot of people are familiar with that. Well, it's kind of ringing that way. It feels like it's kind of ringing all the more true with this New Orleans Saints team. Darren Rizzi has talked about their practices this week have been as energetic, high energy as they have been all season. Tempo's up. Derek Carr, I think, came out and said that's the most plays I've ever run in a practice. So the tempo's up, energy's high on both sides of the ball right now. Darren Rizzi's gone so far as to change in the locker room where players are actually sitting in the locker room. He's now has players with their own position groups, quarterbacks with quarterbacks, receivers with receivers, linemen with linemen, so on and so forth. So you can tell that there's a true, he felt that there is a true need for a culture change here. So it's almost has those Antonio Pierce kind of vibes from last year, where he comes in and really just kind of with a really well-spoken, high-energy kind of guy is trying to instill change here with this interim opportunity. So that brings us to this game. We don't have the side in this one, although I came really close. And the reason why I didn't decide on the side was New Orleans has so many injuries, man. Like it's killer to look at this injury report. Chris Olave out, Rashid Shaheed out, Cedric Wilson Jr. is out. So now they're going to have Tipton, who they're throwing to. They're going to have, and it's going to be a big Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill game. If you got Taysom Hill in fantasy, I would recommend definitely start him this week. I think this is going to be one of those 10-touch games for Taysom Hill. Probably finds the end zone. Vultures a touchdown away from Alvin Kamara, who himself is probably going to have 20-plus touches in this game. So the New Orleans Saints offense, I think, is going to be able to figure it out enough. But then on the defensive side of the ball, although they might see a little bit of an upkick in their energy, their tempo, this is still a defense that has been not good this season and now just traded away Marshawn Lattimore. I think that there's still a lot of cause for concern here. So I do think that the mixture between Atlanta's hot offense and the New Orleans Saints now, even though they, in spite of these injuries, I think this offense is going to get enough of a bump against a bad average defense in the Falcons to push this number over. So that's why we're taking over 46 and a half, for 2 units here in this game.
All right, Josh. So there's the first play of the day. Our next one, we're going to look at the Minnesota Vikings, who were back in the win column last week, going to Jacksonville, seeing those Jaguars, who are, I think, 2-7 at this point, struggling at the bottom of their division. What's going on here?
Yeah, so Minnesota and Jacksonville here, the play is going to be over 43 for 2 units here. And I like this one for, again, a couple different reasons here, Bryce. So Minnesota, I think, is this offense is poised to go nuclear in this game. This is a prime spot here for Minnesota. Like Jacksonville, you know what? I'll put it like this, actually. I think, and I've been saying it for probably the past month, I think this is the last game Doug Peterson coaches for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is where his run comes to an end here. I think Minnesota is going to win this game. I just couldn't pull myself to take them -6.5 here on the road. But I think Minnesota this is a spot, they could put up a 30 burger in this spot easily, in my opinion. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense is pretty much dead last in any metric against any position that you want to look at on the defensive side of the ball. So, and a large part of that here is Ryan Nielsen, the defensive coordinator, loves to run man coverage. He just refuses to get out of man coverage, it feels like, especially on critical downs. And the Minnesota Vikings have a guy named Justin Jefferson, who just so happens to absolutely cook man coverage, or, well, zone coverage for that matter as well. But the Jaguars just don't have anybody to match up with him. And then you say, well, okay, well, maybe they're going to double cover him in man coverage there. I mean, I kind of like my odds here taken with TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison. They know how to get open as well. And, you could even say Naylor if you want to as well. Aaron Jones out of the backfield. Like, the Minnesota Vikings just have too many weapons for this Jacksonville Jaguars defense to keep up with in this spot. They're going to cook. Now, on the other side of things, we're going to need some help, obviously, because the Minnesota Vikings can't do this all by themselves. Trevor Lawrence is probably not going to play in this game. It's not completely confirmed yet. He's questionable for Sunday, but he's probably not going to play in this game. It's probably going to be Michael McCorkle-Jones that we're relying on here to get this McCorkle, yes, sir, to get this over, to get this total over here in this spot. But now the thing that this is going to come down here to, Bryce, is Mac Jones, his ability to withstand the blitz here. We know Brian Flores loves to bring heat. He loves to bring the pressure, and that worked quite often early on in the season. However, in recent weeks, the Minnesota Vikings, they've been kind of getting exposed a little bit from some other offenses. So this is a spot where hopefully Press Taylor, Doug Peterson, they can come up with a decent game plan to get Mac Jones in a rhythm to combat this blitz. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars do have good enough wide receivers to hopefully beat man coverage on the outside. Brian Thomas Jr. Is having a spectacular rookie season. Gabe Davis can hopefully make some noise. Evan Ingram will be there as well. Travis Etienne's another week, hopefully back from the hamstring injury. Tank Bigsby will be involved as well. So you look at this, I don't know if the Jags are going to have too much success running the ball in this game. I don't think they will. And quite frankly, I think that they're going to be in a game script where they're going to have to throw the ball anyways. So, yes, Minnesota, if they can go put up their fair share, majority of the points, I trust the Jacksonville Jaguars enough to go with Mac Jones to go put up, 13, 14 points or whatever, maybe even 17 if we're lucky against this defense and push this number over 43 for 2 units.
All right, so the Mac is back in Minnesota. Over 43 is our second play of the day. Now, Josh, time for our best bet of the week here. New York Jets and Arizona face the Cardinals.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals have been well, I don't know what the opposite of a darling is on our show. They've been on our show quite a few times this
Sure.
season, in the fade spot, which is once again where we are taking this play here. New York Jets -1.5 for 3 units is the play this week, folks. We've got two teams who are in positions that you would actually like. Arizona, 3 straight wins, and Jonathan Gannon has those boys actually playing some competitive ball right now. Offense is looking better. It's looking better. Defense actually surprisingly playing okay right now. Given the talent that they have on that side of the ball, they're playing about as good as you could probably ask them to play. But then I look on the other side here and I see the New York Jets. They're getting healthier here. They are going to be welcoming back Ashton Davis. They're going to be welcoming back Tony Adams, their two safeties here. CJ Mosley's still going to be out, yes. Then you got Michael Carter the second, who could also be returning as well with his back injury. So this defense is probably, I think, going to have a significant advantage through the air in this one. And I think it's going to make life a little bit difficult on Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison. Trey McBride could have a decent game here. CJ Mosley obviously being out in this one. But the New York Jets, also the reason why I like this play here. I think both offenses have a great opportunity to move the ball in this one, Bryce. The Arizona Cardinals on the ground, the New York Jets on the ground and through the air against this. So the over was definitely in conversation here, in the conversation for this game. I did like it, but decided to go with New York Jets because this team is in a spot where they come off a nice win, a solid win against the Houston Texans back last Thursday night. They have the mini bye, hopefully cooking with some mojo now. Hopefully these guys have a little bit of, they obviously have the urgency is cranked up. They know they need to win out essentially to give themselves a chance at the playoffs, possibly even the division. I don't know. But the New York Jets know that the urgency is high. They have a little bit of confidence behind them now. Obviously, this offense, this roster part of me is very talented. We know what this offense, this roster is made up of, the talent wise. So I do like the offense being able to move the ball frequently here and with ease, essentially. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to have to push the ball on the ground in order to move this thing. But I'm going to put enough of my faith in the New York Jets defense that they can start to tighten up in their run game. And then obviously with the guys coming back in the secondary, hopefully they can lock things up through the air. So New York Jets -1.5 for 3 units is the play.
Okay, so there's your
look for 3-0.
there. Let's look for 3-0, and there's our 3-unit play. Looking at a total of 7 units on the board. Let's add an anytime touchdown parlay. We got to break out of this slump. It's been a couple weeks now after hitting a couple early. We're going to get this thing back on track here, Josh. Who are you going to this week?
Yeah, I talked about Minnesota Vikings, man. They're going to cook in this matchup, and well, that pretty much starts with Justin Jefferson. We had him as a play, his over receiving yards in prime time last week. Hit that, I think, early third quarter, if I remember correctly, just out of halftime, which was nice. And I think Jett is going to continue to cook in this spot, man. He's going to get in the end zone. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. Quite honestly, probably could have taken TJ Hawkinson or Aaron Jones or pretty much whoever you want on the Minnesota Vikings offense. Everybody's going to eat in this one, but Justin Jefferson is going to start with him. Get him in the end zone.
All right, and for mine, I really wanted to do CMC, but those odds coming out of not touching a football for 10 weeks are absolutely ludicrous. So might be hard to bet him at any point this season for anyone looking to do that. I am going to stick with the running back though, and a guy that we really like, in Brees Hall. We obviously have his over rushing touchdowns for the season. Obviously, we've seen him do it in the receiving game as well. Arizona, as you mentioned, bottom 10 in rush defense for the NFL. Looking for Brees Hall to get in. It's been 2 games since he last got into the end zone. Looking for him to get back in. So we'll go Justin Jefferson and Brees Hall for our anytime touchdown parlay this week. Going to recap those 3 best bets that we just talked about. Atlanta, New Orleans, over 46.5 for 2 units. Minnesota and Jacksonville, over 43 for 2 units. And the New York Jets, -1.5 against the Cardinals for 3 units. 5-2 last week, plus 5.6 units. Looking to do it again. We were pretty close, a couple spots to getting these sunglasses on. We're looking to do it again this week, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully we have another good one. And like I said, get in, get out. Let's get on to week 11.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, folks. Hit that like button. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Follow us over on X at TJC Bets and keep it locked right here. Same time next week. Gamble responsibly. We appreciate your support and happy footballing, folks. Let's do it again next week.